Her sport, her life.
This is Her Why.
Here's your host, Lauren McLean.
Thanks for joining us on Her Why, where we honor the women who make BYU sports great. Today we're joined by Kylie Eaquinto, the lone senior on BYU's gymnastics team and one of the Cougars' most consistent competitors. As an all-arounder, she's helping guide a young team while mastering her own craft in her final year at BYU. Kylie, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
That's got to be a weird thing to think about. We were talking about it earlier, that this is your last season at BYU. When you think about that, what kind of emotions does that bring up?
It's crazy. It kind of doesn't feel real yet, I think. Definitely bittersweet. Gymnastics has been just a huge part of my life for so long. So to kind of be at the end now, it's a little bit a little scary, but also excited. So we'll see.
Does your brain ever go to, all right, what's next for me? Or are you just dialed in on your senior year?
I think it definitely goes to what's next a little bit, but it's because it's so weird. Just even the thought of just being done with gym, in a few months, I'm I hate that. But I definitely think just trying to live in the moment too and enjoy every second of it.
You're the only senior on the team this year. What kind of pressure does that put on you, if any?
Yeah, I think it's just a big kind of shift in just our team dynamics. We had 9 amazing seniors last year, so that was a big change, kind of just losing them, and then we got a lot of new freshmen, so we are a very young team this year. I don't know, the pressure, I would say, it kind of just feels normal, kind of another year or whatever. So, the juniors are really awesome too, so we got some good girls, so I'm excited.
How do you approach being on the leader on a team that's so young? Are you a vocal leader? Are you lead by example? Are you let's just have some fun? Because I feel like people approach that differently.
Yeah. I kind of think it's a mix, a little bit example, a little bit more vocal, especially this year. I think kind of being the only one, I feel like I've tried to step into that more vocal role a little bit more and help the younger girls kind of know what's going on and what to expect and stuff. So, yeah.
How do you feel heading into your senior season compared to when you were a freshman?
Man, it just feels like freshman year was yesterday. That's so crazy to think about. But I think I know a lot more kind of just day-to-day what to expect, preseason too, and then start of season. So you definitely get some more experience, know what to expect and stuff. So I don't know. I'm super excited for this year. It'll be great.
You've been a steady presence on the team even since you were a freshman. When you look back, what do you think clicked for you so early on at BYU?
I don't know. I think just it was so fun to come to college and just starting off freshman year to be a part of that team. Club gymnastics is very different than all the other sports. It's pretty individual and it's kind of just you, and then you come to college and it's all right, it doesn't matter how good you are, it matters how good the team is. And it's a lot more pressure because not only in club, obviously you want to do good and whatever, but it doesn't mean as much if you kind of make a mistake or whatever. But now in college, it's all right, you got to count for the team score or whatever. And so I think just learning early on, what works and what I know how to do, and then just kind of do what you practice in the gym every day when you compete. And then, yeah.
That would definitely be an interesting shift where you're just basically competing for yourself. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly you have this whole team that's relying on you. Do you have a preference of what you like better?
Oh, college for sure.
Really?
I had a great club career and I had so much fun and my club team was great. But it is just, there's something different, just being a part of that team and getting to go up there. And it's just so fun. You have, your best friends there by your side cheering you on every time. And you are up there alone, on the equipment when you go. But, as soon as you get off, the hugs and the high fives, it's just, there's nothing that beats it. It's so fun.
Last season, you competed all around for the very first time. How did that come about?
It was a lot of work in the making, a lot of years. I started off with just vault and bars my freshman year, which was great. And then I added in floor my sophomore year. And I just really, it's always been my goal to compete all around in college. So beam has always been a little bit more of the struggle event for me. But, I would just worked at it every day and kept grinding. And then I was so grateful and super blessed that I was able to compete all around last year. It was super fun.
So is that something the coaches like take you aside and they're like, okay, Kylie, we want you to do this? Or is this something you like campaign for, you know?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Kind of a little bit of both. Like guard was like, hey, like we haven't had an all-arounder for a few years. Like we really want you to be at it. And I think like just myself too, like that's always been my goal. So I knew I was like, okay, like you know what you have to do to make this happen. So let's make it happen.
What surprised you about doing all 4 events in one meet?
I think just like doing it for the first time, because in club I did all around, like you do all around every week, no matter what kind of. And so it's like you just are so used to it. And then in college it kind of changes. And I had like 2 years where I didn't do all around. And then the first time I got to do all around, like it was just so fun. Like I was just so grateful and so blessed. Like I don't know, like that's kind of always been my goal, and kind of took me back to the club days where you get to do all 4 events, you know, you get to warm up, and it honestly makes the meet go faster. Like you don't have a bye event or whatever, you know, that you're waiting. So like you just go, and then as soon as you know, it's over.
What's it like to shift from event to event mentally and physically? Because there's so much that goes in to bars and floor and vault, you know, and beam. How do you make that shift so quickly?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's like such a unique part of gymnastics, just like the differences between the events. So I think like vault for me is just kind of like, I don't like thinking on vault. Like if I overthink it, it goes badly for me. So vault, I kind of just have to like just trust my body and trust the reps that I've done and just kind of go by like muscle memory, honestly. And then bars is a little bit more like I got some keywords that I focus on. Beam is definitely a lot more, like I feel like the more like amped up you get on beam, the little bit harder it is for me. So I like to kind of just like take deep breaths on beam, slow it down over there. And then floor is just like fun. You just gotta go all out on floor. So, I mean, definitely shifting your mindset and your perspective between events. But yeah.
That's just crazy. And you mentioned the beam, which is the scariest one for me to watch, by the way. The beam, I'm so tense the entire time someone's on beam.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that that's kind of had some ups and downs for you. What has your off-season beam work looked like?
I think just like really getting the reps down. Like our beam coach, she talks about confidence and how she describes confidence as like ticks in the box. So every time you do a skill, you get a tick in the box. And the way you build confidence is you have all those ticks in your box. And then, you know, once you've done the numbers and the reps, you know you can do it every time. So I think that's something that I worked on this off season, just really doing my reps and just nailing down like what works for each skill so I can replicate it every time.
So it's just one move at a time. Is that what she means? Like okay, I did that back handspring. Check.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You've dealt with shin pain too, on top of everything, basically every season. What does managing that look like? I mean, in practice now and then during meet week too.
Yeah. The coaches have been really awesome with me, working with me. Me and guard, we talk about it all the time, and we kind of come up with a schedule. So I have a little bit of a different schedule than the rest of the team, just like on events and when I train. So we're pretty mindful about my reps too. So I do like a lot. I have a lighter floor day and then like a hard floor day. So it's kind of helped me a little bit because like in the meet, you only get that one chance. And so in practice, because I have to do less reps, I really got to be super intentional and make every rep count, which I think has been a kind of a benefit, honestly. So when I get out on that competition floor, I'm like, okay, I've kind of had the pressure of only being able to do a few reps and making them count every time. So yeah, I mean, that was kind of a positive of something that I wouldn't necessarily consider before.
And is it shin splints? Is it?
Yeah. I mean,
Basically.
I've had a few like stress reactions or whatever in them, but for now they're just shin splints. So we're doing good at managing them.
Was there ever a time you're like, I don't know if I can keep doing this, where they bothered you so much?
Yeah. There was some time. Honestly, all the years blend. It kind of happens every year. I don't know if it was last year was pretty good, but I think my freshman year was probably the worst. It was like some pretty sharp pain, and I was like, I don't know if my shin is going to be able to hold up the rest of the season. But luckily, we just kind of cut back on some reps more, and we were able to go on some softer landings and practice and stuff. So then when we get to the meet, you can just do the couple hard landings that you have to do.
That's got to take a mental toll on you too, trying to manage all that during practice and then go full out when it's meet time.
Yeah.
What pushed you through that? Like, what got you through those moments?
Like my coaches, like I said, they were super good support, and my teammates were really good. Just kind of like hyping me up, like, it's okay, like, we know you want to do more reps or whatever, but they just always believed in me, and they're like, you don't need to do these reps, like, you gotta trust yourself, trust your body, you know what you're doing. So they were a huge support system and have helped me get this far for sure.
Earlier this year, you posted a 39.300 on the all-around and tied for second on vault and bars. Then you had a 9.925 on floor. What was working for you that night? That's incredible.
Thanks. I think, I don't know, just kind of doing it the same I did in practice. That floor routine was fun. I remember that. Yeah, I don't know. Floor's fun because you just get to, like, go full out, like I said earlier, kind of. It's not like one where you kind of have to, like, reserve your energy. Like, on floor, like, you're putting on a show and you're performing out there. So, and that floor routine, I think I just, you know, my landings were great. My leap was good. Yeah, I don't know. It was just a good night. It was fun.
And you mentioned that you prefer the team aspect of it all, of gymnastics. What's it like when your team's just having an incredible night and you guys are all together? What's the energy like in those moments?
It's so fun. The energy definitely builds. Like, it's fun to see. Like, we always talk about, like, we want to start strong and we want to finish strong, but we can't lose the energy in between. So, you know, home meets are fun because you get to start on vault, which is kind of, I like starting on vault. It's a good, just kind of like, wait, it's not super, you know, like the margin of error, I think, is a little bit bigger than like bars or beam or whatever. So it's a little bit more relaxing over there. But then just like keeping the energy throughout the whole meet, and then, you know, ending on floor, like, there's just nothing that beats it. You got the rock, like, going crazy over there too. So it's just so fun.
And then when they start to memorize your routine, that's
Yes.
got to be kind of weird to look over and go, people know my routine.
Yeah.
Is that kind of surreal?
For sure. Like, towards the end of the season, they get a lot more comfortable with the routines and stuff. So, yeah, it's definitely fun. I think one year they, like, had some props brought out for, like, people's routines. So, like, we looked out there and there's, like, these blown up, like, tiger things for one of my floor routines. So they had, like, a jungle music. And it was just, like, so fun that they get to be involved in that.
What would you say is your very favorite event to compete in?
To compete, I would say bars is my favorite event. Like, I've always loved bars. It's been my favorite event. Competing, floor is really fun to compete. So, I don't know. I'd probably say floor is more fun to compete than bars, but I would say I like bars the best.
Do you feel like that's your best event, is bars?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes a difference. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Kylie talks about growing up with 5 brothers, choosing BYU over other big programs, and the legacy she's leaving at BYU in her final year. This is her why. Family. Isn't it about sports? At least that's the case in my family. We're all about family and sports on the Royal Legacy podcast, hosted by yours truly. We dive deep into the family connections of the Cougars who played and coached at BYU. New episodes every Thursday on the BYU radio app or wherever you catch your podcasts. Welcome back to Her Why. I'm Lauren McLean, here with BYU gymnastics senior and all-arounder Kylie Eaquinto. All right, you're the only girl with 5 brothers. What did a day in the life look like in your house growing up?
It was crazy. I mean, there was never a dull moment in our household. I'm the 3rd oldest, so I have 2 older brothers and 3 younger brothers. I really wanted a sister growing up. I was like so excited when I found out we were having my youngest brother. My mom was like, we were all really hoping, like, there's no way there's going to be another boy. Like, we have to have another girl. And I remember, like, when we went to find out the gender, she was like, okay, like, if it's a boy, like, you can help choose the name. Like, she had to give me something. And so when I found out it was a boy, I was like, oh, okay, well, at least I get to help choose his name. But no, like, I couldn't imagine it any other way. Like, I love them all so much, and we're so close, and it's so fun. The joke in our household is, like, I was either at the gym or the baseball field growing up. So just, like, always moving, always outside. Like, so we're pretty competitive, and so it's so fun.
Okay, now I got to know, what's your youngest brother's name?
It's Tice. So it's a funny story about the name is he was almost named Rocco, And we all wanted him to be Rocco so bad. And then my parents, just at the last minute, they're like, no, we can't go Rocco. We're going to go Tice. And he's perfect. He's a perfect Tice. So it worked out good.
You're like, you told me I could pick the name.
I know. I was like,
Mom.
Mom, Rocco. Like, we have to do Rocco. And she's like, Tice is good. I'm like, okay. But
So
we'll
your
see.
so your brothers are big baseball guys.
Yes.
How do you feel like they influence your competitiveness growing up?
I think just like, even just like in the backyard, like we were playing games and it was never like just for fun. Like there was always like, all right, like let's keep score, like who's going to win or whatever. So yeah, it was just like, and anything we do, like if it was a card game or there's a joke in our family about categories. And one time we were playing categories and I got so mad because they counted an answer that I didn't think should be counted for my brother and he got the extra point or whatever. And so just like, we're always, yeah, it's just so fun, always competitive and stuff with whatever we do. It doesn't matter. We'll make some game at it. We make up so many games just like all the time. Like we have this kickball game in the backyard, 2-base, or like this basketball game. Like we just called it the one game. Like there are so many games that we just made up fun and it was so fun growing up.
Oh, so much dang fun. You have to be like the princess of your family though, right?
Yes,
like I mean,
they do call me the princess.
kind of
sure.
spoiled, which you should be.
Yeah.
Truthfully, you should. Well, your competitiveness didn't just come from your brothers. Your dad and your grandpa played college sports, and your brother. You had a brother that played in college too, right? How did that shape your love for sports growing up, just being in a family with a lot of athletes?
Yeah. I think it's just kind of like something we did. Like I didn't really know life without it. You know, my dad, he was a big basketball guy. And then my oldest brother, he played a lot of baseball and basketball too. And then he ended up playing baseball in college. And so I think that was a big like inspiration to me. Like I saw him, you know, get to go play his sport at a college. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like that's my goal too. Like that's my dream. That's what I want to do. And then like all my brothers too, like they all just did sports. And so it was just so fun. My mom did gymnastics growing up a little bit too. So that was cool. I don't know if I would have ended up in gymnastics without her or whatever. So that was cool. I'm grateful that she got to do that too.
Well, let's talk about that because you have all these different sports in your family and then you choose gymnastics. How did that come about?
Yeah. So my grandma actually owned a gym in California. So I remember like growing up, we would go visit her in California and we would get to go to her gym. And that was like the coolest thing for me. I was like, oh my gosh, like we get to go play at grandma's gym. Like this is so fun. This is so cool. And then my mom did gym. She did gym up to level 10. So that was really cool.
Wow.
Then she had a back injury. So she ended up having to quit. But so yeah, I guess it's just something she kind of did and like my grandma did. And so then my mom put me in gymnastics when I was younger. I think she actually put my brothers in too. I mean, gymnastics is so good, like for anyone, just like the coordination and body awareness is really good too. They obviously did not last very long. We're pretty tall, honestly, for gymnasts.
Yeah.
So it worked out probably better for them that they didn't go far. But yeah, so she put me in when I was like 2.5, I think, and I just loved it ever since. Can't remember a time without it.
And so that was like your main sport. You didn't try other sports. It was like all in on gymnastics.
Yeah. I did some soccer when I was younger, of course. And then I actually did softball. So a little bit of softball until like 3rd grade. And then it got to the point like, okay, gymnastics is pretty time consuming. Let's choose. And I think I was naturally better at gymnastics and I liked it better. So I just went with that and ran with it.
Well, you mentioned that your family's tall because you are 5'7", which is tall for a gymnast. Do you ever feel like you stand out when you're at these meets?
Yeah, I do. Always, back of the line, tallest one on the team, which is fun. I think it's weird because I feel so tall in the gymnastics world. Like I feel like a giant, and then I go outside of gymnastics and I'm like a little bit above average height, but like it's pretty normal, like not super tall. But it is in the gymnastics world, they're like so short, like to my shoulder or whatever. But yeah, it's had some challenges being tall for sure, but we make it work for sure.
As you kept getting taller, were you ever like, or your mom or your grandma for that matter, like, maybe we should put her in something else? Or was it all in?
I think by the time I really had my growth spurt, I was pretty far into it already. And like, I already had the love for the sport. So I think there was just like, all right, like we'll figure it out. Like the hardest thing was bars for sure. Like figuring out how to like not kick the low bar. Like I've broken probably 3 toes on like the bar, kicking the bar. So that was a big adjustment, like learning how to fit in between the bars and figure out my tap and stuff. But now it's great. Figured it out. So.
Well, there's something gymnastics is a beautiful sport as is, but there's something about watching a tall gymnast because it's just everything just lasts a little longer. There's something so beautiful about it. You grew up going to a lot of baseball games. Do your brothers now come support your gymnastics meets?
Yes, they're a lot better in college than they were at the club. The club meets were pretty long, like 4 hours, and you go for 2.5 minutes total or whatever. So they were good at supporting me from home. They like to watch my videos after. They came to a few meets, but no, they are really good supporters. They love coming to the college meets and stuff, so it's fun to have them there for sure.
You were recruited by Utah, Minnesota, Denver, and SUU. Those are some big-time gymnastics programs. What tipped the scales for BYU?
I've always been kind of like more of like a hometown girl, so I love that I just get to be close to my family, like going home from Sunday dinners, like that's the best. I love just having them right there. And I love just BYU and like the uniqueness that it brings. I love that I get to be in a place where, Jesus Christ is so focused on and just in everything we do. Like even in gymnastics, I love that we get to have these conversations like as a team, and it kind of just, I feel like there's a bigger purpose here a little bit more, and it's like I'm not doing it just for myself. Like I get to be in a place where we get to be like representatives of God and we get to share our light with others. So I just thought that was so special, and I love it here.
And now heading into your senior season, no regrets?
No regrets, not at all. Couldn't imagine being anywhere else.
That's so awesome. Did your parents or your siblings lobby for you to go to a different school, or were all of them just very supportive in your decision?
They were all super supportive. We've kind of always, growing up in Orem, we've always bled blue or whatever. Both my parents went here and they graduated from BYU, so we've been longtime BYU fans for sure. So they were really excited for me.
So they loved it. You were a Nastia Lucan Cup qualifier and a JO Nationals multiple times, state all-around champ. What part of that junior journey prepared you best for your collegiate career?
I think just like the whole journey in general club. So when I was in 7th and 8th grade, I think it was 7th grade, 8th or 9th, I don't know, one of those junior high, early high school years, I tore my MPFL in my knee. And that was hard because I was out for that season. And then the next year I was out again. So I was out back-to-back seasons because my knee dislocated again. So I think that was just like a good time for me to kind of like reflect on like what I really wanted. And it would have been easy for me to kind of just quit there and be done with gym. But I knew that I always had this goal of doing college gymnastics. And I think it was just good for me to learn a little bit of patience and, perseverance. And so I think that has served me well through my college career too.
Well, being a student athlete means you also have to go to school.
Yes,
unfortunately. But you are an accounting major. I feel like that's not a typical athlete major. So you must love math. Do you love math?
Yes, love math.
Okay, so what got you interested in accounting? I
think just that love of math, actually. I always chuck. It's funny because I don't think I really knew what accounting was. I thought it was going to be way more math. They joke that it's like the language of business or whatever. And, going in, I didn't know that. So I don't know if I would have been all in on accounting if I knew a little bit more. But I think it'll be great for me. But yeah, just in high school, I love math. That was always my favorite subject. I was not a big history or science or English girl at all. I hated those. I just liked my math class. So I'm like, well, it looks like accounting is my option. So yeah, that's kind of how I ended up in accounting.
You mentioned last year, what's it called? The junior
core.
The junior core.
Yes.
So that's pretty intensive. How did you balance that with like traveling and competing and training?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
It was really hard, actually. It was a little bit of a learning curve at the beginning too. Just like especially all the group projects that we had to be together in our cohorts. But I just like the support system around me was so good. Like my teammates were always like cheering me on and like, you got this. Like I was like, oh, I gotta go meet with my group, and they're like, no, like you got this, you can do it, like you're awesome. And my roommates too, like they were so supportive, and like everyone would give me like a little like note or like a little treat on like the hard weeks or whatever. So I was really blessed. They really helped me through it. I don't know if I would have made it without them.
We all need someone that gives us that extra boost that we don't quite have ourselves.
Yes.
What skills from gymnastics do you think translate well to the business or accounting world?
I think like detail oriented for sure. in gymnastics, like you're always striving for that perfect score. And so you really got to like work on each little detail, like even, just like the pointed toe and the straight leg. And so I think accounting is a lot of that like detailed analytic mind where you kind of, I think that will serve me well in the professional world after.
Mm-hmm. You got to pay attention to every little detail.
Yes.
Like you do in gymnastics. Your bio says you love spike ball, can jam, and ping pong. Who is your biggest rival in those games? I'm assuming it's probably one of your brothers, but.
Yes. It's so funny because in my family, I'm definitely the weak link. I think like they're all like so good, especially at ping pong. Like my family's crazy at ping pong. Actually all the sports, and then I like go, like I'll play with my team and I'm like, yeah, like I feel good. Like I'm good at this. And then I get quickly humbled by my family very much. So honestly, any of them, like a few years ago, I could say I could beat my little brother, but now even my little brother is better than me. So I'm like, okay, well, you guys have more time to practice this, okay? I'm like, you come show me some gymnastics. Like, should we have a handstand contest? Like, I got that in the bag.
Absolutely. You're probably way stronger. Gymnasts are the strongest people I've ever met in my entire life. When you need to reset, what's one hobby or one thing that you do to kind of take your mind off gymnastics?
I think just like going home to my family is always a good reset, and just, our backyard games, honestly, that has been just like always a constant in my life, whether it's like wiffle ball in the backyard or can jam or whatever. Like we just always have so much fun together, and I just love going home, and that gives me my little reset that I need each week.
Do you have any hidden talents or like weird pre-meet rituals that you do every time?
I don't think so. I try to keep it like pretty. I don't want to be superstitious or like superstitious or whatever.
Yeah.
So I try to change it up. I try not to keep it the exact same every meet, just in case, we're traveling. And so sometimes everything's not available wherever we are or whatever. So I'm like, I try to not make it a huge deal of doing the same exact routine before or whatever. So I like to chill, do rapid reboot before I compete. But other than that, not much.
All right. My last question for you is heading into your senior season, your last season at BYU, what is the biggest thing that you want to accomplish?
I think I just want to leave with no regrets. And I think, I've kind of been talking about that. Like lately it's just like this big thing. Like this is your last year. Like this is your last chance to do everything. And I think something that I'm going to work on this year is just being accountable for my preparation. And as long as I put in the work that I feel good about and can feel proud with, then like whatever happens, I'll be happy with. So
I love it. I'm here with Kylie Eaquinto, BYU gymnastics senior, all-around competitor, and the heartbeat of this year's team. Kylie, thank you so much for coming on, and good luck this season.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to Annie Robinson for producing this episode with senior producer Cleon Wall. Her Why is a production of BYU Radio.